Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you know, I absolutely love Lolo. It's one of my favourite brands. I've been using it for years and years, and I know a lot of you guys love Lolo as well. And even some of you said, oh, I might actually pick up a few products from Lolo because of how much you use them in videos and how much you love them. So I thought it might be interesting to do a video on kind of the 5 products I'd recommend as like a starter kit if you're being introduced to Lolo. I've tried, I want to say pretty much everything from Lolo. I think the fixing powders, setting powders, the only thing I haven't tried from them. And there's only been a few products that I haven't enjoyed. So I didn't like their cream concealer, and I wasn't a huge fan of the BB cream either. Although the BB cream I used years ago, and this was back when I was living with my parents, so my opinions could have changed to that one, but those were 2 products that I didn't particularly enjoy. Everything else I've thoroughly enjoyed. Obviously I haven't tried every shade of everything, so the mineralized shadows I haven't tried all the shades, or the palettes I haven't tried all the shades, or blushes I haven't tried all the shades, but I've tried, with the exception of setting powders, I've tried at least one thing from every category, I feel like. So I wanted to, I've got 5 products here that I think would be great as like a introductory into Lolo. So they're not necessarily like, I'm also going to tell you what my top Lolo products are as well, also my favourites. So there might be some overlapping, but they're actually going to be quite separate because I'm trying to base them off things that I think are easy to use. So I know like a lot of mineral products can be quite difficult to use, but these are products I feel like are easy to use. You don't have to do too much work with them, and I feel like majority of people enjoy. Whereas some of my favourites, they're quite, like for example, not everyone likes cream products for the base. A lot of people like powders, and a lot of my favourites are some of the cream products. So I will share them as well, but I thought I've picked 5 that I think would be good as an introductory to Lolo, and I think work extremely well and are easy to use. So I will apply them to my face as I go, and like I said at the end I will share kind of some of my ultimate favourite products from Lolo, because like I said they're slightly different, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's useful and helpful, and if there's something you're interested in, then please keep on watching. So the first product I would recommend as a kind of introductory to Lolo would be their mineral foundation. So I have got a couple of mineral products in the starter kit, but I feel like they're quite easy to use. This is actually a brand new one because I used up my old one, and I went for China Doll this time because I felt the other one was just a tad too dark for me. It was more of a summer shade, even though we're heading into summer. And what's great about Lolo is they do sample sizes of their mineral foundation and also their mineral concealers. And I think with their foundations, they do have them in like packs of 3, if I remember rightly, or they might do them individually as well. So you can get a couple and kind of really test out what your shade is. But I think this is a great foundation because it's really easy to use. It's not, it can be a little bit messy, but not with these big pots. I found they're actually much easier to use. And they're very forgiving on the skin. So I feel like even if you are oily, they're great because obviously it helps set the oils at bay. But if you feel quite dry, it doesn't cling to dry patches, and it gives an overall like soft matte finish and looks very natural on the skin. And I think that's why this works so well. I've gone through, oh crikey, a lot of these. So yeah, a brand new one because I finished up my other one. So all I like to do is I tap some into the lid. And what tip I would give is, depends if you use primer or not. They don't do a primer. I haven't actually put primer on. I've just gone in with my moisturiser, which is currently the Antipods. What I would recommend is just letting that soak in a bit so your skin isn't too heavy with moisturiser or too heavy with like a hydrating primer, just to prevent anything like sticking to those areas a bit much. Just let it soak in a little bit and you'll be good to go. And I'd really recommend picking up one of their kabuki brushes. I think this was like a limited edition version, so there might not be the one with the blue top. They definitely just do a simple kabuki brush, and I think it's the easiest way to apply it, and also the fastest way I think as well. And because it's quite big and fluffy, it's not going to like put it in one spot and then struggle to blend. It will really like distribute it around the face. So all I like to do is I just tap it into there. So I've got quite a bit there. I'm going to pop some on the back of my hand and kind of get rid of some of the excess. and then literally do circular motions. And what's also great about this foundation is you can really kind of build upon it and customize it to the level of coverage that you want. So I'll do half the face. I mean, you can already see the coverage it's given me, and haven't gone in too much with it, and you can still see all my freckles through it, which I love, but it just gets rid of some of the redness and makes your skin a little bit more even. And they do have a colour chart, so if you're unsure of the potential shades, then you just click on that and it'll kind of give you like with a fair, light, medium, etc., and then it'll go like cool, neutral, warm, so then you can kind of gauge roughly what your shade is from that. But yeah, like I said, they do sample sizes, so you get like, you pick up a couple just in case you weren't 100% sure. I also think what's nice about this mineral foundation is, unlike with liquids, where I'm very conscious I need to bring it down the neck just in case it's a little bit off on the shade, you don't want that line, you don't really get that with a mineral foundation. It just kind of just melts into the skin. I mean, I still recommend bringing it down, but you can get away with, you're not going to get the lines like sometimes you can with liquid foundations, and I feel like it's less obvious on the skin as well, which I think is why it works well. So if I've I've pretty much done, I'd say half the face, and that didn't take me long to do really at all. And you can see the difference. It's not super full coverage. I can build it up to make it super full coverage, but I'd rather do that with the next product. I like to keep it quite light. I like the fact, like I said, I can still see my freckles. It gives like a semi-matte finish, so I do prefer the glow. And what I like about this is it doesn't make my skin look super matte. It's still like a bit of a sheen, so it looks very natural on the skin. You can see I kind of went all over my chin actually, and the redness is gone. A lot of the blemishes are hidden here, which is nice, and it does just sit nicely on the skin, which I think is good. And what I would recommend is just, the only thing about this is just making sure you tap off, because otherwise you will get some powder down yourself if you're not careful. So yeah, so I'm not going to build up any more on that. That is kind of what the foundation looks like. I think it's really easy to use. I'd really, like I said, recommend their kabuki brush, or if you've got like a big, doesn't have to be their kabuki brush, but if you've got like something that's quite big, fluffy like this, it works really well. So I'm just going to quickly do the other side. And I know a lot of people actually with mature skin enjoy this as well, because it doesn't like emphasise fine lines or settle into lines and stuff like that. So it really is like a great all-rounder. They do a cream foundation as well, which I do enjoy, but I think for a starter, this suits majority of skin types, whereas the creams, it will be depending on your preference and also your skin type as well. That's the foundation. So that is product number 1. And product number 2 kind of follows quite nicely, so I would recommend the mineral concealer as well. And I'm pretty sure they do start sample size as well. But what I didn't realise, and it was when I looked on it the other day to pick up a fresh one of this, is actually on their colour chart, if you find the foundation you think works for you, it tells you the corresponding concealer shade. So for ages, actually, if you've watched my video for a while, you know I've got the mineral concealer in Blondie, and I did have the mineral foundation in Blondie, and I was like, oh, this concealer is much lighter, so not quite the same shade. And actually, they're not. So the one, I can't remember what it was now, but the one for the mineral foundation for Blondie had a completely different shade for the concealer, so I think they are tailored to be slightly lighter. So yeah, that's quite handy. I didn't realise that, and I should have checked earlier, but yeah, the corresponding, it'll give you what they recommend as the concealer shade dependent on the foundation shade you've picked out, which I think is also really handy. So I do have mine in the Blondie, because this is what I already had in my collection. So again, to be honest, it's similar to the foundation as to why I think it's a really good product. It's because it's not super heavy, it suits pretty much all skin types, and it gives good coverage. The concealer definitely is fuller coverage than the foundation, I would say. And I would highly recommend using a fluffy brush to apply it and not a dense brush, because it will pack a lot of product otherwise. So for example, Real Technique setting brush here, I quite like, and again I just tap some into the pot. Actually, the colour correctors, I've never tried their colour correctors, because I know they've got mineral loose colour correctors, so apologies, that's another one I haven't actually tried. So I'm going to take some of this, and all I do is do circular motions. I like to bring it around my nose just because of a bit of redness there. There you go, I've just put a little bit on and you can already see a difference. Admittedly, I don't have particularly dark under eyes, but you can see it's actually giving a nice brightening effect under there as well. See, I went a little bit heavier with this eye just to show you kind of how you can really build it up and add that brightness. So again, you can really kind of customise how much coverage you want as well with this product, which I think is great. So if you don't have too much going on and you just want a little bit of brightness, perfect. Whereas if you've got a couple of blemishes, maybe a bit quite dark under eyes, you can build this up to how you want, and it's not going to look heavy. Again, like I said, just recommend using a really fluffy brush because it just blends so much better. My chin's not looking too bad, but I'm just going to add a little bit right to the centre to add a bit of brightness. I think that foundation did a good job. And one thing I forgot to mention as to why I also really love this foundation, and this is more if you do like your cream products as well, but last year I discovered using that in the summer, obviously kept my oils at bay, but it allowed me to put cream products on top, which I loved. So it gave me that good kind of that best of both worlds, where I had the setting power of the powder but the glowy cream products, and they didn't budge, and it sat really beautifully on top, which I was so happy about. Obviously if you don't like cream products, you can go with powder products and it still works beautifully, but that was just something that I found out last year and I absolutely loved about the foundation. So I'll definitely be doing it this year, because it also means you're putting less product on your skin, because otherwise you're going with like a liquid foundation, you're popping on your cream products if you like cream products, and then you're setting, whereas you've kind of already done the setting with the foundation and the concealer, which I just think makes everything a bit lighter. And I think that's also why it holds up quite well in the summer, because you haven't got too many layers on. Okay, so that is the first two. Next is another base product, and it'd be their blushers. And I would go with the pressed blusher, and they come in duos. I think you can get them separately, but I'd go with the duo. Mine is battered as hell. This is what mine looks like. So it'll come with a blusher, and it'll also come with an illuminator, which I'd highly recommend. Because if you like highlighters but not something powerful or like blinding, like that subtle glow from within, these are really beautiful highlighters as well. But yeah, as you can see, mine is really quite battered, and I probably should get a new one. The reason I've gone for a pressed instead of their mineral one is because their mineral one, if you've not tried a mineral blusher before, you have to be quite careful, because obviously they can be quite messy, and they're extremely pigmented, the Lily Lolo ones. I've got Ooh La La, I think is the shade I have in the mineral, which is glorious and it looks beautiful on the skin, but you have to be extremely careful with it. So I've purposely gone with products that are easy to work with, but give you beautiful makeup. So yeah, and you can build this blusher up as well. So this is the Coraliste de Cheek Duo. I think they do a couple as a pinky version, and then it'll come with a bit of a pinkier illuminator. So you can get the illuminator separate as well, but I thought a 2-in-1 is always a winner. So I'm just going to take some of the blusher, what I can of it, and just a regular blusher fluffy brush will work with this. And you can kind of, again, build this up nicely. So depending on kind of how much you love blusher, because I know not everyone wants to go in with that pow and boldness of blusher, this again will allow you to build up. And that's because we're working on top of a powder product as well, it will just blend seamlessly. onto the face. Okay, so yeah, that's the blusher. Again, quite quick and easy to apply. Because it's not super pigmented, it gives you a bit more kind of leeway to play with it. But you can build up, and like I said, on top of that foundation it blends beautifully. And if you go for the duo, then you get the illuminator as well, which I will just pop some on as well if I can get any out. Again, I just tend to use a fluffy brush for this. There you go. So it's not a super blinding highlight, which I know some people like, some people don't. I used to love a blinding highlight. I'm not a huge fan of that anymore. I do like the slightly more softer glows, the ones that look a bit more natural. So that will just give you a hint of a glow of that within type of look, which I think is pretty. And again, very forgiving on the skin. If you've got texture as well, very forgiving. But it just gives you that nice pop of glow. And it melts quite nicely in with the blusher as well. And like I said, you can get the blushers and the highlighters separate, so you want like a bigger pan. Or if you like the colour of this blusher but want like, maybe prefer the pink highlighter as opposed to the champagne one, there's options. I'm just going to quickly run something through my brows and then I'll be back for product number 4. Product number 4, I'd actually say would be their eyeliners. Because their eyeliners, they've got 2 shades, a brown and a black. You can see my black is so small compared to my brown. But they are really creamy, so it makes them really blendable if you want them to be. But also pigmented, so you pop them in the waterline, they're going to be there, especially the black. It is a proper black and it works really well. So how I like to use these, so I'll kind of do both ways. So I haven't popped any eye primer or anything like that down, you can just go straight with the lid. But if I start running some across the upper lash line, which is what I like to do, this is the brown. So I guess it depends if you like the slightly lighter, softer appearance of brown, or if you like the real pop of black. Okay, so we go like that. So you can see that nice and pigmented, and it goes on really well. But what I love about these is, like I said, how easy they are to blend as well. So for example, take a pencil brush, I'm just going to gently go back and forth over these, and what it'll do is it'll soften and blend them out, but you won't lose any of the pigment or the depth. So right by the lash line where I've put it, it will still be relatively intense, which I think is great for especially doing the outer portion of the lash line. And instantly you've got a really quick, easy smoke to the outer portion of the lash line. And like I say, you could just place them, and I've done it and I've used them for like winged liners as well. It works beautifully as well. I will just quickly demonstrate the black as well and just show you kind of, if you like to pop stuff in your waterline, just how pigmented this is. Because I find sometimes with a lot of black liners, they work great on the lid and stuff. Apologies if you don't like eyes like that. But in the waterline, they don't always come off super intense, whereas this does. I love this. And they say it's one of my favourite black eyeliners I've got in my collection. See? And it lasts really well in there as well. Let's just put some. But yeah, just want to demonstrate that they actually perform in the waterline. I know not everyone likes to put eyeliner in the waterline, but just to show you that it does really perform in there, which I think is great. Okay, I'm just going to quickly load up my lashes and then I'll go on to the final product, and then I'll go on to some of my favourite products from Lily Lolo. So if you are someone who's familiar with Lily Lolo and is used them quite a bit, then the next bit might be more for you. So I just thought, yeah, I'd do something a bit different Okay, and the fifth product is their lip liners. So I've tried to do it where I've picked some products from like each section of the face. So yeah, their lip liners are, well, you can see it's tiny, but they've got 3 lip shades. I've got 3, so they've got Bare Soft Nude, which is this one, Ruby Red, and True Pink as well, but this definitely gets the most love. And these are great because these are really pigmented. They're easy to work with, they don't slip and slide everywhere, and you can create quite a nice sharp lip line if you want, but they're also great, you can smudge them slightly and blend them in to give a much softer appearance. So really versatile, and really, like I said, easy to use. This is Soft Nude. It is tiny. Probably should sharpen it first, but hey ho. I would wish they brought out more shades, because they have quite a collection of lipsticks and lip glosses, but not very many lip liners. And you can fill your lips in with these as well, which is going to really help your lip to last if you're going to put like lipstick on top or whatever. Nice and pigmented, and you could soften the lip line if you want to as well. But these last you a while. They are, you do sharpen these ones. I know not everyone likes a sharpener lip liner or eyeliner. I don't mind them at all. But yeah, that is the lip liner. And yeah, those are the 5 products I would recommend if you're starting off with Lily Lolo and want to try a little bit of each of the categories. And they're not too hard to use, they're really easy to use, they work well. I think they give a great result, and they won't fail you. So that's why I've kind of picked those 5 products. But I will now go on to other products that I like, my favourite that I just want to share with you as well. So yes, obviously I love their mineral foundation. It's my go-to summer foundation, and this year it'll definitely get a lot of love when we hit summer. But some of the other products I've got here are, so I love their loose mineral bronzer. I have mine in Waikiki, which is a nice warm tone, but it's also got a sheen to it, so it gives that really good glow to the skin. So that is a product that I absolutely love, and actually if you watched me last year, you know that this got a lot of love as well last year. I do wish Lily Lolo had a cream bronzer, because they've got cream blushes and cream highlighters, and like I said, I love my cream products, and they sit beautifully on top of the mineral foundation, which for someone who's got like an oily T-zone, oily combo skin, oily T-zone, is perfect. But I have kind of got an alternative, which will be coming up in a video soon, so stay tuned for that. But the Waikiki bronzer, or just their mineral bronzer in general, really beautiful. You just need to go with a slightly lighter hand because it's quite pigmented bronzer. A product that I don't have with me because I ran out a while ago and haven't repurchased, but their Big Lash Mascara I absolutely love. Their regular mascara is actually another product that's okay, but I don't think it's anything amazing. I personally prefer like voluminous lashes, quite big lashes, so the Big Lash works better for me over the other mascara. But again, a really good mascara, it doesn't weigh down the lashes, gives me a real good like volume and effect on the lashes. Eye primer, as you know, is the only primer that I use ever, and I love. So this is, yeah, Lily Lolo's eye primer. I've gone through several of these. The reason it didn't feature in the 5 products, because I know not everyone necessarily does like a lot of eyeshadow. They have to keep it quite simple looks, everyday looks, and sometimes you don't always need to go with eye primer. But if you are someone who does like your eyeshadows and you're a bit more bolder eyes, then this eye primer is great because it's not too thick on the eyes, so you can create like, just put a light layer and it works really well, but it kind of creates a blank canvas. Shadows stick to it well, and if you've got their mineral eyeshadows, this is a great product because they really work well together. I've got one of their lip to cheek tints here, which is probably my favourite product from Lily Lolo, because I love my cream products and I love cream blushes. So this is yeah, lip to cheek. This one happens to be in the shade Poppy, slightly more coral shade. I've got all 4 shades that they have. I wish they'd bring out more. I don't tend to use it on my lips. It works perfectly fine on the lips, but I love it for my cheeks. And it's a really nice cream blusher, but it's not sticky or anything like that, which I think is a good thing. And like I said, works beautifully over top of the mineral foundation. So yeah, absolutely love this. And then also a newer product from them is their illuminator, which I absolutely love. So this is Afterglow. I'm really tempted to pick up the pink version. I can't remember what it's called, to have the 2 options, but this is again beautiful. It's not too intense of a glow either. And it's easy to work with. It's a bit more intense than the powder, but again it gives that gorgeous and natural glow. No shimmer, no sparkle, which is why I love this illuminator as well. And you just go with your finger, blend it in. I'm doing it on top of the powder products as well. And yeah, it's super pretty. So I'm tempted to pick up the pink version of that as well. And then the final product is probably their lip glosses. I know not everyone likes lip glosses, so that's why I didn't include it, but I do love their lip glosses. Whisper is my ultimate favourite one, just because I love the shade of it. It's a nice pink one. They've got quite a few different shades, but I like it because it's not sticky and it's not heavy on the lips. It gives a nice gloss, very comfortable, and they layer really nicely on top of other products as well, other lip products. So that is this video complete. I hope I didn't ramble too much, but yeah, Lily Lolo is one of my favourite brands. I know a lot of you guys love it as well, so I just thought it might be something a bit interesting to share, kind of the 5 products I'd recommend if you're new to Lily Lolo. Like I said, the ones that I think work really well but not too hard to use, and yeah, give you instant results. And they're also like ones that you can build upon and customise upon, so not like super intense off the bat. You can kind of build them up and kind of create your kind of preference with them. And then also I want to share some of my favourite products because yeah, I do love my cream products, and although I know not everyone loves cream products, I thought I'd share some of those as well with you. So I hope this was a useful video, and like I said, I hope I didn't ramble too much, but let me know your thoughts down below. If you've tried Lily Lolo, what are your ultimate favourite products from them? What would you like to try? And yeah, anything like that, and any future requests as well. So I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.